Hey, this is probably going to be not a very successful thing, but that's not what I aim for it to be. It's to be a video about me ranting. Random stuff, probably Warhammer lore for the most part. That or my teachers, because I don't like a lot of them. Well, can't say a lot of them. There's one I hate, and the rest of them I'm chill with. Sorry, this is really quiet as well. I'm sick as hell. Like I'm dying. What the fuck is killing my storage space? I can fix it in a minute. So, it's probably gonna be just be a schizo who got into Warhammer, to be quite honest. That's probably what a lot of my channel's gonna be. But, yeah, so, I don't know what I should start with. I think I'm probably gonna just start with, uh, the War in Heaven. So, the basics of this universe is big stuff go boom. Big stuff do a lot of damage to people. Bodies go explode quite often. This universe is brutal as fuck. And, but there was a race on a random ass world. Pretty much it's science fiction. There was a race on this random ass world. I don't think we've ever figured out what it's actually called, but it was the Necrons' homeworld. They're Necrontyrs' homeworld, because they aren't Necrons yet. But the Necrontyr, they are just they don't have an ozone layer, so they get super cancer. They got super cancer, all of them. Like every single person on that world is incredibly, incredibly dead from the beginning. Like you may, I think the stated reason or the amount of time that a average Necrontyr could live was about what was it, like 40 years? I think that was average lifespan. But they somehow, despite them living incredibly short lives and those lives being miserable, they developed space travel. Not faster than light space travel, just space travel. They developed stasis crypts, so they could just put themselves in stasis, then they could just go to the next place. It takes a long time, but it's better than staying on that world. Better than staying on their radiation cancer stricken world, you know? But they proceeded to do some stupid shit. They found a race called the Old Ones. They were masters of the psychic world. Like they could do whatever the fuck they wanted with psychic stuff. And they asked for help because they could live forever. But the Necrontyr asked for immortality, and they said, uh, the old one said no, no law. Then they then proceeded to, but then the Necrontyr decided to try to kill the old ones, and they got ass blasted. They got shredded, like so hard it's not even funny. Like they got murdered. It's crazy, really. But they were forced back to their world. They were forced back to their world and their home world. They were forced back there, and they proceeded to sort of find a plot, try to make a plot to deal with the old ones. And it didn't. The only reason that the Necrontyr actually had any reason they could do anything is because they found something. It was it was what they thought were star gods. The star gods were they were star-eating things. I don't really know how to describe it, but their gods ate stars. Well, they're not gods; they're masters of this whole universe. But they just ate the force of stars, and they were kind of just drifting around the universe, chilling. But then the Necrontyr found some weird signals. The Necrontyr then found some weird signals, and it was the old one, the Catan, which is the Masters of this whole universe I was just talking about. The Catan are, from here on, going to be just a little disclaimer. The Catan are not good because because they proceeded because they get the Necrontyr gave them bodies, living metal bodies, but it was the Catan then decided to go to the leader of the Necrontyr, the Silent King, Zarek. Said he offered their race immortality. He and his Triarch, which is like his Council of Elders, I guess, and he and his Triarch went in, and let me look this up. I don't know the exact dates or the exact amount of time on everything. I'm not that much of a nerd. I think that nothing's said, but it's like 20. I think it was like 10 years, 4 years. I don't know. All I know is he was in there for a while, and he decided and he decided sure. And the best part about all this, the Catan that came to him, his name was the Deceiver. Can you guess what he did? Yeah, he deceived them. He then proceeded to the old one, the Catan. Uh, he he uh, he put them. The Catan made giant furnaces, just massive furnaces, and they had the Catan. They had the Necrontyr dropped onto a. They had the Necrontyr just fucked. They dropped them into the pits. The Catan ate their souls and gave them living metal bodies. So, yeah, not very fun. Not for the Catan, not for the Necrontyr at least, because the Catan were having fun. They got to eat good that day. But but the Catan also, as they were masters of the physical universe, they were able to give the Necrontyr incredibly powerful weapons that we still see in the modern 40k setting today. They pretty much were just ridiculous. They will shred you on the molecular level. That's not a joke. That's actual canon. That's an actual weapon called Gauss Flare. That's their basic infantry weapon. Uh, but but with this newfound power of the Catan and the Necrons, because the Necrons and the Necrontyr are different. The Necrons are the robots that you'll see. The Necrontyr are the flesh, what the Necrons want to get back to, because because their souls were eaten. They don't feel anything anymore. But they but After this, the Catan, who it's not canon, but it's kind of implied that they kind of imply that they had a war with the old ones at one point as well. But kind of implied. Not nothing concrete though. It's kind of implied that they had a war with the old ones. But because of this, the the Necrons here, the Necrons now, and the Catan had a common enemy. So they went after the old ones, and they. If y'all remember how hard I said the old ones ass blasted the old ones, like that was opposite, like reverse roles there, because it was not good for the old ones anymore. They were getting shredded. Like it was crazy. And the yeah, but yeah, the Necron tier, or the Necrons now. I'm so used to calling them the Necron tier from earlier. But the Necrons, they did not like being in these bodies, the metal bodies. So the Necrons decided, or the Zarek actually, because most of the Necrons at this point don't have consciousness. In a modern setting, most of them don't have consciousness. So, because of this, uh, because they don't have consciousness, Zarek made the executive decision. Fuck it, let's kill them all. Let's do our best to kill them. Let me look at this quote, because there's one from a dude I really like. The general gist of the quote is the general gist of the quote is gods cannot be killed, but they can be split. They can be shredded. So they shredded the Catan into shards. Catan shards, which is a unit in the actual game. But the Catan, very much like the did not like this. They did everything they could to stop it. But it wasn't enough because like they already gave them plenty of weapons. They gave them everything they needed for what they wanted. They gave them everything that they needed to fight the Catan. So they murdered. No, they didn't kill them. They were only able to actually kill one, but they were able to split the old ones or the Catan into many shards. Just each one's still incredibly powerful, but not as stupid. Not as stupid as the ones were, because the old ones, the Catan, I mean, at one point were able to they duplicated ships inside of each other, and that made their reactors blow up. So they just got free kills on whole ass Star Destroyers. Which Star Destroyers are a Star Wars thing, I know, but that's just a good example of the size of the basic ship in Warhammer. But just the basic size of stuff in Warhammer. But the Catan, they just said, "Damn it," and they let them because they knew they knew they were gone. So they let themselves get captured, and now they're imprisoned. But Zarek made the executive decision again to have all the Necrons go to sleep, because a lot of the nuisances that for humanity, like, were created during the war in heaven. Because the orcs, those are creations of the old ones during the war. The Eldar, the Eldar slash Eldari, are those are creations of the old ones. And like most modern races in 40k came from the old ones. Just as a general rule of thumb. Like if you can't figure out where they came from, assume it came from the war in heaven. It came from the old ones, you know? But just a good rule of thumb to have. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But Xeric decided to make them all go to sleep. All the Necrons just go to sleep on tomb worlds. And all of they just said, sure. And it worked. And now they're back in the modern setting. All of them ridiculous times. All of them ridiculous amounts of years old. And like, good God. They do a lot. They've been around for like not even all their race is awake yet, and they're still able to do a bunch. But yeah, that's just a general overview of the war in heaven. I might make some more specific aspects of it soon, but I'd like to make this just a general shitty Warhammer lore channel because I'm not gonna lie to you, I know this is gonna be horrible, but like, yeah, this is not something I expect to be big or anything, you know. I don't expect for this channel to be at all large. So yeah. If you watch through this, so I'm sorry. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching, boys.